Good afternoon, boys and girls, moms and dads. Today's story is called My Dad Everywhere I Go, and this is by a former classmate of mine. His name is Emmanuel Sims, so hope you enjoy the story. Everywhere I go, I see my dad. He has round lips, smooth brown skin, and natural curly hair. His walk is mighty, and his head is high. Today he looked at me as my mom and I drove by. On Sundays, my grandmother and I ride the bus to the market. When I looked back to see who else is riding with us, I saw him again, wearing his work uniform. I wanted to sit with him, but it was already our stop. I saw him again in the park, but didn't understand why he was playing with somebody else's son. The boy threw my dad the ball, and my dad said, "Great job, son." Then he tossed the ball back. They looked like they were having so much fun. I just rested on the swing and I watched, wishing he'd ask me to come. On my way home from the park, I saw him again. He was sitting outside with a cup in his hand. I stopped and smiled and asked my mom why my dad was sitting in the rain. She pulled me close and we kept on walking. It was a long walk home that day. I was so confused because everywhere I went, I would see him too. I wanted to ask my mother, but we were walking with purpose. I don't remember falling on my chest, so why was it hurting? Everywhere I go, I see my dad. On every corner of every street. With every step, I can't help but think, why when I walk past, he doesn't notice me? Sometimes he's painting a gate. Sometimes he cooks me dinner at my favorite restaurant. I take my time to order so that we can speak. I already know what I want, but I pretend I need more time just for my dad and me. He helps me read the menu and does it in funny voices. He reminds me I always get the burger and fries. I reply, saying how there are so many other good choices. Across the restaurant, I saw both of Darnell's dads sitting sharing a cup. I felt jealous that he had two and I didn't have one. Today I saw my dad at school, and I thought he was picking me up early. Instead, he was dropping off a lunchbox for for Aaliyah, a girl in my class with blue eyes and tan hair that was curly. I knew she wasn't my sister, but we shared the same dad. But why didn't he bring my lunch too? When I get home, I'll ask. Every day when I arrive home from school, my mom asks about my day. Although it was only her and I, she always treated me in a special way. Whenever she mentioned my dad, her words were always kind. I think that what makes it hard when I wonder where was mine. Looking out from my balcony, I saw my dad with an orange outfit on, which had numbers on his back. He was getting on this bus with friends. I thought how this first time I saw my dad was so many times at once. I see my dad on TV sometimes. I see my dad when I'm gone. I see him when I'm sitting outside my window, and it's just mom and me alone. I see him when I'm sleeping, but these dreams never last too long. If everywhere I go I see my dad, why is it I never see him at home? This is a book that was written in loving memory of his dad. So, this is what he says in the back of his book. Growing up, I remember always clinging to the men in my life in search of understanding of who I was. My parents divorced when I was a very young age, creating a lot of unsolved question and disappointment. I wrote a poem when I was about 11 years old titled Come Home, Daddy, and in 2013 I decided to make it into a children's book. This children's book is meant to advocate for the presence of black fathers in young black boys' lives. In the story, it talks about how I would see black men everywhere I go, and I got correlating them to being my dad. The story concludes of how I see my dad everywhere except for at home, and my goal is to change that for other black boys like myself, searching for answers only a father could give. So thank you, Emmanuel, for the book and for bringing awareness. And if you like the story, go out and buy the book. Support them. All right, thank you, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.